Welcome everyone to Connect with Christina. My guest today is Greg Sarlo.
Hi.
How have you been?
Fantastic.
Long time no see.
I know. Thanks for having me.
Exciting things to share today with everyone, starting with the project, your very special project, Senior Connection.
Absolutely. Yep. Senior Connection. So we are a complimentary concierge service that caters to seniors and caregivers, connecting them to trusted, vetted resources that they may need. And for businesses, it's connecting businesses to those booming demographics.
And why did you come up with this beautiful idea?
It's a big backstory, but to make a long story short, my sales background, insurance, marketing, and PR led me down this direction. Moving to Arizona, I got really submerged into the senior space and just developed a passion and, really got behind that mission and vision. My grandparents, they needed some advocates to jump in and kind of get in the midst of their medical challenges and issues right in the middle of COVID. And, between that and a role that I had taken, I realized that, seniors were taken advantage of. They were not being heard. They were not, they're not being respected the way that they should, and my role in business development for a larger company out here that catered to seniors and doctors' offices really let me know that the resources were limited. There are plenty of people that want to get in front of seniors, but it's the right people. Do they know how to, navigate the intricacies of, a specific senior's needs? Because there's a lot more than just, connecting a senior to a resource, right?
And we'll dive into that too.
Yeah.
And I've been very open about this to those who know me. I just have a very special place for seniors in my heart. And obviously in the Philippines, we don't even have really care homes and things like that. You bring your loved ones back and the talk isn't, which care home you're going to, or it's really which family member, which daughter, which son will bring you, in.
Sure.
It's just a very tight thing for us. And to be quite honest, it's like something we frown upon, right? Because
Right.
they raised you, and now it's your turn to take care of them, really. Have you guys seen those memes? We'll put them up here too. Like where it's like the cycle of life, where it's like you start as a baby in diapers, and then when you leave, you also sort of end up in diapers, right? In a wheelchair. So I think what you're doing is very special, but I do want to dive into some of the benefits of really being connected with you and Senior Connection.
We're vetting, these resources, whether they be from roofing to real estate in the medical space. We vet them, we check licenses, background. We have an advisory board that's really just anchors and really influential people that have been in the senior space for 20, 30 years, which is much longer than myself.
So the vetting process, I would say that's important. Right.
Absolutely. And it's not just coming from me, right? It's coming from people who've been in the industry for 20, 30 plus years. Anchors that we have on our advisory board. That really help us guide and make those directional, observations about what companies are good, are they doing right by people. It's really just the core of it is we want to connect people with what they actually need. We don't want people to be taken advantage of. We don't want people at their time of need to, fall into something that may not be good for them. There's a lot of stories that we hear.
Well, and it's so big, like whether it's, helping a senior find a home, or finding help for the senior, or finding a doctor, right? Like, what are all of the...
Well, there's a lot that goes into it, right?
Yeah, so go ahead.
We had a call last week from a gal here in the Valley, and she was starting to decline with her mobility. She wasn't able to do things like, make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, which is something she did very frequently. So in her mind, she needed to go into an assisted living, facility. Reached out to us. We had a team go in and do, a licensed team go in and do a mental assessment, a financial assessment, a home assessment, and really assess the situation and determine what her actual needs were. In that process, we realized that she really just wanted to stay at home, right? She wanted to live at home. She has people in the Valley, like her family that lives about 40 minutes away that come back and travel to support and help her. So it really looked like, okay, we're going to keep this woman in her in her home for as long as she can. So we're going to connect her with, the realtor, the trust and probate attorneys to make sure everything's, dialed in properly. We'll get her set up with some home care assistance, and then we'll set up a plan and a path for her to be able to sell that home, get into an assisted living facility, and then within that, you're moving counties. You're probably going to have to change your insurance plan. You're going to have to do a multitude of things. So you need movers. There's a lot that goes into this, and when you're specialized in these areas, you've seen it from a 30,000-foot view. You have those expectations of what's potentially coming down the road, I guess you could say. So it's important to connect people with people that have that full understanding. It's not just about one challenge or one thing that may be going on. It might be a part of a bigger picture. So.
Right. Well, and you just said it. There's so many things that happen in the senior community. Mm-hmm. And for me, I talk about this often, and I appreciate you adding it as a resource, is I don't want seniors to be hacked or, their bank accounts hacked or their identities hacked on Facebook, their bank information just out there. That's been happening. So is that something that is part of your program already?
Absolutely.
I know you said you were, but.
So we work specifically with a couple of companies, one primarily out here in the Valley that caters towards seniors' needs. They're an advocacy group, and they help and they educate how to avoid those types of scams. There's a multitude of things that people get scammed for, but on a daily basis, we hear about people that, were taken advantage of, and they emptied out and cleared out their savings in their bank account.
Yeah, we don't want that.
Yeah, no.
Because you guys, we're all gonna get old one day too, and no, we need to protect our seniors.
It's important. So for us, we're a free service, we're a free resource line for that type of help. So whether it's just guidance, right? So we'll utilize social workers and people that are advocates for seniors in the market here to make those directional, guidances. Hey, you might need this, or it might just be a senior making a phone call saying, hey, we got an email and we're unsure of what this email means for us. Or what does this mean to me? Do I have to respond? Am I being hacked? Am I being scammed? So yeah, we're looking to be that guiding light, I guess you could say, mm-hmm. for support and just as a resource. Yeah,
because even if you just had workshops for them to understand how Facebook works and what not to do, and don't mm-hmm. just scan this. I have a friend of mine in my industry in PI. She's an executive for a pretty big firm, and it's so sweet because during work, she has a camera on, and mm-hmm. she's just watching her mom and dad, right? So, and then they're aging, and it's not like a little baby she's watching her aging parents, and that's just so special to me.
It's
and
that
so
cycle again.
Mm-hmm. And at some point, it's that point in time will come where she has to make hard decisions. Right now it might just be, okay, I want mom and dad safe, someone to come help with groceries, clean up, take them to the doctors. But at
Sure.
some point, there's going to be other decisions to be made, which is where, that's where you come in.
And that's important, right? So it's not always... Sometimes, a lot of the time, it's what we don't know that we don't know, right? So there's a lot of resources out there that a lot of people are unaware of. And unless you're asking the people that are tuned in and dialed into that channel, you may not know. You may just assume that, hey, our only options are A, B, and C, but you have all these different letters in the alphabet that might fit your needs a little bit better. So right. Our goal is just to be that beacon and that light for individuals, caregivers. That could look like adult children. It could look like, nurses or doctors. It could be any type of individual that needs guidance on what type of resources. Think of us as just like a social worker,
right.
A giant social worker.
And it's free to them to
Absolutely.
Use, right? That's a big thing. So, and going back to that, you're also the resource for finding all of the other ones to give someone to grab groceries or take them to the doctors, mm-hmm. for just to be, have someone accompany them, right? Because that's why I'm saying this senior connection thing, it's what we've needed in Arizona for so long. And Arizona is that's where people are retiring.
Well, and what I will say,
took you so long?
Right. Well, I will say that although there are a lot of things inside of our concept and our company and our model that make us very unique. The concept of connecting seniors to resources, that's not unique. There are companies out there, and I don't mean this in a negative fashion or any shade anywhere, but typically companies that are making these kind of, here's a good resource or what have you, they are real estate agents, or they own a home health care company, or they're assisted living senior placement or something in that category that basically they're taking in information so that they could make personal gain. And I get it, business is business, right? But the premise of our model and our foundation and the framework of what we do is all outreach and community-based. So we're just supporting the community, and we're connecting those individuals to trusted, vetted resources, because it is an extreme need here in the Valley. So Senior Connection, from the core, from the ownership as a founder, I am not licensed as a real estate agent. I make no financial gain from a senior, from any directional guidance that we make.
Right.
For anything that we refer out to, so which makes things a little bit different, right?
Right.
So, like I said, I'm not a real estate agent. I don't own a home care facility, so I don't have no ulterior motives.
Right.
For directing you.
Yeah, and
in
I think
any
that's
direction.
clear. That definitely will set you apart, because you are functioning from a place, even though it's a business, like you're coming from a good place.
Sure.
But because I'm gonna dive into the businesses after this, but for the seniors, like whether you are a senior, you're caring for your seniors, or your mom, your dad, aunt, uncle, whatever, how do they get a hold of you so they can tap into your network and get the
Sure.
resources? Because to me, you have everything from
Yep.
A to Z. You can take care of whatever the needs are.
Absolutely.
So what does that look like?
So that's going to our website.
Okay.
So that's seniorconnectionaz.com.
We'll list that.
Yep, and our main phone line number is 480-809-2888. So get in touch with us that way. You could fill out a form. You could ask to speak somebody directly. But yeah, we'll support any type of needs.
Now, on the other side of this were the businesses, right? Because you said you vet them. So how do they apply with you? Like, for example, if Justin's like maybe he's a care home, and he wants the opportunity for you to vet him and participate, what
Sure.
does that look like?
So we would have a form on our website.
Okay.
That they would fill out, and we would take that in-house. We would take that into consideration. So there's a few steps to that process, right? So we're only going to have a couple per category. There's an exclusive aspect to this. So it depends on, we're going off of percentage, right? So can a company geographically handle the need in an area? And then is it statewide? And as we go national, we'll look at nationally, but they'll fill out their form. We'll identify if there is room for them. If we identify that, we will put them through our process and we will vet them. We partnered directly with a PI law firm out of Las Vegas, which that's another conversation in itself. I want to make an introduction to that, but they specialize in checking backgrounds and going through companies. So they're going to be our asset there to really kind of dive in, check licenses, make sure they are who they say they are, right?
Yeah, because they're not going to do that.
Nope.
So it's good that someone is going to.
So once we get through that process, there's still a third process. The third and final process is making sure that they mesh well within our vision, our mission, our brand. Obviously, that's the thought up front, but we have our advisory board, right? So our advisory board will make final decisions on that.
Mm-hmm. And then, but those, because you said it best, I mean, there's really truly a lot, but name some of the types of businesses that would benefit from becoming, a resource within the Senior Connection.
Well, really, I mean, anything. I think a lot of people hear senior and thinking that their demographic may not be specifically seniors, but it's the largest growing population right now that we have. We're going to
Talk about that.
Yeah, so the senior population. So there's a few things that are happening right now. So people can look at this as a benefit or as a challenge, right? So we've got what we call a pandemic coming down. We call it a senior tsunami. So more people aging in at the senior level than ever before in our history. So we'll, for the first time in our history in the next 5 to 10 years, baby boomers are aging in, but we have less and less resources. People are having less and less children. So that's less money that are going into Social Security and these other government funding funded agencies that are supporting our seniors, right? So more aging in, less support as far as financial resources. So it's the stress on that aspect is just getting greater and greater. So the need for these types of resources. So I say roofing to real estate, medical, and anything in between, but could be home care, home health care,
a lot of
senior
mobile.
living.
So
Yeah,
if you're mobile chiro, mobile PT,
Absolutely.
mobile hair, mobile.
Yep.
Get with Senior Connection.
I mean, it could be anything, really. If you're painting somebody's nails, cutting their hair, trimming somebody's yard, I mean, anything. Seniors, once you get into their space and they know that they can trust you, you're going to have a loyal customer. So it's really just providing that good service that a company hopefully is already providing, but you're doing it and you're piggybacking off of the trust and the respect, off the brand and the name and the people that are involved with Senior Connection.
See, I like that because, at the core, you're helping seniors, which, again, very important to do that. But then you're also helping the businesses get in front. So it's like a win-win.
Absolutely. It's a win-win for that. There's a few aspects to our company. I know we didn't talk about that specifically yet, but our logo, I'll explain our logo because there are some components to the logo that really kind of, there's different components. So we've got 4 different pillars to our company. The logo in itself, the green is for our users, right? So it's for our seniors and our caregivers. So anything that we're communicating that's in green will be directed towards our seniors and caregivers. Our blue, that on that in the logo, that's for the providers or the businesses that we work with. The last 2 are really near and dear to my heart. Purple, that's for our advocacy. So our advocates are supporting resources, our voices that are out there in the community, helping us really move this mission into action. This is definitely, a rising tides float all boats kind of a situation. I've been really big component on.
It's very true.
Yeah, it's collaboration over competition. It's going to take a lot of people to support this. It's like with your community, your Filipino community, you've got a tribe of people that jump in and they support and they help. And I think the United States, in a big way, and we're getting off on a tangent here, but I think that the Asian community, for one, they really get that. They understand the community aspect. So the advocacy is really important for us, and then it leads right into our community base, which is our yellow that's on there. That's for community. That's our outreach or our charitable.
Is that yellow or orange?
It's orange. It's more orange.
Okay.
People say yellow. So it's an orange, but that'll be our charity or our community, outreach. So we're looking to, as we get to a specific benchmark in our business, we will start our nonprofit, and we will have,
just
grants.
continue to give it back.
Continue to give back to the community for things that, insurance might not cover, and they might need some cash assistance for different things. There's a lot of need in the community, and we'd be here all day talking about the types of need that's really needed.
And are you taking volunteers too?
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
maybe tell us about that.
Yep. So that's a developing conversation. So our soft launch is January 16th that we'll have downtown Chandler here in Arizona. That is like I said.
I better make sure I'm here.
Yep. Let's put that on the calendar. That's going to be a big date. So we'll have 150 to 200 decision makers in the community. We've already got a comedian, set up to be there. Just make it a really fun event. We've got an open, cash bar that'll be there. Food, some drinks. It'll be fun. We'll have a silent auction. We partner with the Alzheimer's Association to donate back to that organization.
I do want to challenge whoever's going to end up watching this or listening to it that, do be part of this, because think about some of the seniors who are from the East Coast and they're here.
Right.
In my property management days, my heart would break when I would see seniors really not have any visitors at all.
Right.
And the only time they have a visitor is when they passed, and then maybe their kids are here to like collect jewelry and fight over their furniture and things like that. So there's seniors out there now who really have no family, and a lot of them are from Midwest.
That's what did it for me.
East Coast.
That's what did it for me.
Yeah.
Seriously, that's what did it for me when I'm connecting with seniors and, in my previous role, communicating and asking them who could we identify as their emergency contact. And I would say, over 50% of the time, these individuals,
they
didn't have anybody. No, I know it'll bring tears to my eyes, talking about that. But, I always put myself out there to be that person for them and be an advocate. But I'm only one person, but one person can do so much. But we do need help. We do need the support.
So we need your help. Because
do.
I was going to say, even if you just choose like a random memory care place, you can go in there, talk to the office and say, hey, I want to volunteer. Obviously, they have to make sure it's safe, that you're someone that they'll allow in there. I think there's a process. But like you can read books with them. Maybe go, you know, walk with them and go.
And we're
There's
setting
just
up
a lot.
and we're setting up programs for that. But if anybody that's listening here and they've done a lot of that, we're open for help, right? So we're an evolving organization. We're looking for support. We're looking for help. You know, I always say we don't know what we don't know. We're learning every day. We're growing.
And it's so fun to talk to them.
Right.
I mean, I don't know when the last time you spoke with an older person.
They have a lot of stories.
They do, and it just like it's so fun to hear it.
We're all quickly approaching that. You know, I'm going to be 40 this year, and I'm
Filipino.
I'm looking at 55 plus communities.
I'm just kidding.
I'm already looking at 55 plus communities to live into.
Yeah, I think that we, as a community, especially in Arizona, like I said, we're such a hot market for seniors. But if we can wrap our arms around the community in a deep way to really, truly want to help them, no matter, you know, who they are, where they're from, and to make all these resources available. I think that's why I'm very proud of what you're doing. I'm very proud of you. And, you know, to see this mission and this, like how you said, to all the steps to get you here now, right? That this is all coming true. And we want you guys to participate and connect with Greg. So if you're a business and you're interested in that, same process you said. Go on the website.
And it goes deep too. So the connection to that demographic, it's not just, you know, us putting together a website. We are very in tune with, you know, the senior communities here in the Valley. So whether you want to get directly in front of the seniors, whether you want to participate in our marketing campaigns or any other form and fashion, or getting into our hub, right, as a resource so we can connect you to those seniors. That's really where it comes in, right? We want the right people that have the right mission. I would say we're at no shortage, Christina, of people that want to be involved with this, even as we're in beta stage right now. But as we roll this thing out and as we take this thing, you know, statewide and nationally, when we hit our Series A funding, you know, we plan to make a big impact and we want to do things right. So we're looking for the right people.
I mean, even like mobile, like pet cleaning,
all
right?
Of it.
Just think about that. Like, you don't want some random person going to grandma's house.
No.
You want someone that's been vetted, someone that's that you can trust, that's not going to rob grandma or grandpa, that will take care of the dog, not overcharge. There's just all these things. Also, you have events that come into play with this, right?
Absolutely.
And then you have a walk. So talk about those things.
Yep. So we do, you know, health fairs throughout the Valley. We've got our first two under our belt now. I've been doing, you know, events for a decade now plus within the communities, but.
Well, invite them.
People want to get it, and if you want to get involved within that throughout the Valley, whether that's East Side, Central, Phoenix, or even on the West Side as we're growing out, you know, if that's something that you're into, you want to get in front of people. We do health fairs. We call them resource fairs. There are different names for them, but also we've got our organization that has a team that's walking on November 2nd. It's a Saturday. For the Alzheimer's and Alzheimer's. And you're walking, we're putting a team together. But yeah, I mean, we're just looking for support. We're connecting with the right people, right? So if you want to get around good people, you want to have, you know, access to people like Christina or the network that I have myself, you know, for the right people, you know, we want to open up our resources and support you the best way that we can. We're also looking for that mutual support, right? How can we get this to the community so that we can impact more lives? You know, we want to, you know, get to the core of really what this is. And I think everybody just wants to be heard, right? These seniors just need to be heard. They want to be seen, and they want to, you know, they need to be taken care of.
Right.
So
and definitely, we definitely have the resources. You, for sure, have the resources within the senior community. But, you know, there's a lot of insurance agents out there. We happen to know one of the best ones, Rebecca with State Farm. You know, we know she'll take care of people, but they can't just find her. So going through you, they can find her.
Absolutely.
Right? Viola with insurance. What's her? Rise Up, what is it again?
Rise Up Benefits.
I'll get that right, Viola. Rise Up Benefits. But I'm just saying, like, these are people that are in the community who do good work.
Right.
But through you people will have access to them.
Absolutely.
And that's what I like about that.
Absolutely.
And in closing, we're gonna revisit this video in a year. So you should leave a message to yourself about what you're doing.
So if I'm messaging to myself in a year, we are rapidly growing and evolving into just a beautiful concept. We've collaborated with some really good people. I'm super grateful. And hopefully you watching this video again, I'm talking to myself, right?
Yes.
We are now expanded, and we've scaled into other states, and we have plans to go national at this time. So.
And anyone you want to shout out, do it now.
I will leave somebody
Do not
out.
look at me.
I will leave somebody out, but there's an enormous amount of love and support that we have that has just, kind of snowballed into this incredible.
So you know who you are.
You know who you are. We have a lot of support. I will leave somebody out, but this is not one person putting this thing together. This is a team full of, very passionate, very skilled people. All coming together to support a worthy cause and a mission. So
yeah, and again, for those interested, please connect with my friend Greg, because this is really a beautiful project, and it's going to profoundly impact the community. So thank you for tuning in. See you guys soon at Connect with Christina. Goodbye.